In this power electronics session, we are going to see about the commutation in DC choppers. What is commutation? The process used for turning off a thyristor is called as commutation. In high-power DC choppers, SCRs are used as switching devices. In DC choppers, a conducting thyristor has to be turned off at the end of turn-on time. The process of opening or turning off a conducting thyristor is called commutation. So in DC choppers, a commutation circuit has to be provided to turn off the main SCR. A conducting SCR can be turned off by reducing its anode current below the holding current value, then applying a reverse voltage across the SCR to enable it to regain its forward blocking capability. There are several ways of turning off an SCR. So all these methods are different from each other. Generally, the commutation circuit of DC choppers can be classified into two groups. So first one is forced commutation and second one is load commutation. First we can see about the forced commutation. In forced commutation scheme, external elements like inductor, a capacitor are used. Since these capacitors and inductors will not carry current continuously, they are used to turn off a conducting thyristor. Okay, so the forced commutation can be achieved in two ways. That is, one is voltage commutation, second one is current commutation. So first, the voltage commutated chopper. So this is the circuit diagram. This is the voltage commutated chopper. So here the commutating circuit is provided to commutate the SCRs. We can see the operation in 4 modes. So before going into the operation, we can see the device components which are available in this circuits. So this is the thyristor T1, which is main thyristor, and TA is the auxiliary thyristor. Here the inductor and capacitor. Okay, these are commutating components. This RC, that is charging resistor. So here this current, this is the load current, that is output current, which is constant. This is the switch. Okay, when you close this switch, the capacitor. Okay, when you close this switch, the capacitor will be charged through Vs, this capacitor, auxiliary thyristor, and load. Okay, so in this way it will charge. So in this way it will charge. The capacitor will be charging when you close this switch. Okay, when you close the switch, the capacitor will be charging in this direction. So when this capacitor voltage, that is Vs, is equal to Vs, when this capacitor voltage is equal to this source voltage, then this charging current decays to 0 and this auxiliary thyristor is turned off. Okay, so this is about the components which are used in this voltage commutated chopper. Now we can enter into the operation. So we have 4 modes of operation. First mode, okay, this is the first mode. So here the time interval is from t is equal to 0 to t1. This is the mode 1. From t1 to t2, mode 2. From t2 to t3, mode 3. From t3 to t, mode 4. Okay, so like this there are 4 modes. We can see the first mode. So this is the first mode. So in this first mode, at time t is equal to 0, this thyristor T1 is on. So the load will be connected like this. Okay, from source, this thyristor and load. So the load is connected like this. Okay, so this is the output current. Now the voltage, that is V0, is equal to Vs. The output voltage will be equal to the supply voltage. Okay, so here there are 2 current components, 2 current paths. First one is the output current, that is from Vs, thyristor T1, the load and Vs. Okay, this is the first current path, and the second one is second current path is the commutating current path. Okay, so it is through the capacitor, thyristor T1, inductor, diode, like this. Okay, so this is the IC, that is commutating current path, and this is the I0, that is output current path. Okay, like this there are two current paths. So the capacitor at time t is equal to 0, first the capacitor current rises from 0 to a maximum value. Okay, when it reaches its maximum value, the capacitor voltage reaches its 0 value. Okay, so here the capacitor current is maximum and the capacitor voltage is 0. Okay, at this here the time is t1 by 2. This is t1. So here the time period is t1 by 2. So at this time the charging current is maximum and the charging voltage is 0. Then as the capacitance current decreases to 0, the capacitor is charged to a voltage minus Vs. So see here the capacitor current starts decreasing, but the capacitor voltage is the capacitor starts charging to a value minus Vs. Okay, so at T1 the capacitor current reaches 0 value and the capacitor voltage reaches the minus Vs value. This is time period T1. Okay, so this is capacitor voltage, that is capacitor voltage is held constant, that is minus Vs by this diode. So at the end of this mode 1 at T1, okay, this is the mode 1. At end of this mode 1 means this period. Okay, at T1, what are the conditions? The capacitor, charging current is 0, and then the thyristor, okay, because the main thyristor is on. Okay, since it is on, there is a current flow through the thyristor. So at the end of this time interval T1, mode 1, the current through this thyristor 1 is I0. Okay, this is the value of thyristor current, that is I0. At this point the current is I0, so IT1 is equal to I0. Then the capacitor voltage, that is capacitor voltage is equal to minus Vs. So at this point the capacitor voltage, that is Vs, is equal to minus Vs, and the voltage across the thyristor, okay, auxiliary thyristor is Vs. Okay, it is not shown here, but the voltage across this auxiliary thyristor is Vs, and again the V0, okay, the output voltage is equal to Vs at this point. So this is Vs value. So the output voltage V0 is equal to Vs. This is the first mode of operation. Now we can see the second mode of operation. Okay, so in second mode the conditions which are existing in the first mode is continued here in mode 2 also. Okay, so this is the mode 2 from T1 to T2. Here the capacitance current, okay, continues to be 0. The capacitance current continues to be 0. Then the current through the thyristor 1 continues to be I0. Okay, then the voltage across the capacitor continues to be minus Vs as in the previous mode. Then the capacitor output voltage is also continuing its position, that is V0 is equal to Vs. So everything is continued from the mode 1. Okay, so during this mode only the thyristor T1 is conducting. Okay, mode 2. So during this mode 2 only the thyristor T1 is conducting. Okay, this is about the mode 2. Next we can see the mode 3. In mode 3, this thyristor, okay, that is the main thyristor should be turned off. So for that the TA, that is auxiliary thyristor, is triggered at instant T2. Okay, so at this instant we are going to trigger this thyristor, auxiliary thyristor. So the capacitor voltage minus Vs appears across this T1. Okay, because initially there was a voltage Vc is equal to minus Vs. Okay, it was charged to a voltage minus Vs. Now this reverse voltage will be appeared across this thyristor. Okay, that is Vc is equal to minus Vs. This voltage will be appeared across this thyristor T1. So due to this reverse voltage, this thyristor will be turned off. Okay. So that's why it is called as voltage commutated chopper. Why? Because as the capacitor does this job, okay, the capacitor voltage turns off this thyristor, okay. The capacitor voltage is nothing but minus Vs, which is reverse voltage. So this reverse voltage is applied across this main thyristor, and this main thyristor is turned off. That's why type of chopper is called as voltage commutated chopper. Okay, so current IT1 becomes 0 at T2. Okay, at this mode 3, the current through the thyristor T1, because we have turned off this thyristor T1, so the current through the thyristor 1 is 0 now. Okay, at T3 now the current through the thyristor 1, okay, current through the thyristor 1 is 0 now. So after T1 is turned off, capacitor and TA provides the path for load current. Okay, this after this thyristor is turned off, the capacitor, okay, capacitor TA will be providing its path that for the load current. That is, the load current will flow like this: CA, TA, CTA, and then load. Okay, so like this the current will be flowing, that is, the output current will flow through this path. Okay, now it is turned off. This thyristor is in off conditions. Okay, now the load voltage, okay, this output voltage is equal to the sum of this capacitor voltage and source voltage. So V0 is equal to Vs plus Vs, which is equal to 2 Vs. So V0 is equal to 2 Vs now. So at the time T2, see the V0, see this is the output voltage. Output voltage is now 2 Vs. This is Vs, this is 2 Vs. At time T2, V0 is equal to 2 Vs. And then it decreases linearly. See here, it decreases linearly as the voltage across the capacitor decreases. See, the voltage across the capacitor decreases. Okay, in mode 3 starts decreasing. When it decreases, this output voltage also decreases linearly. Okay, then since this capacitor is connected across T1, since this capacitor is connected across this T1 and TA, okay, the capacitor voltage Vc is equal to Vt1. That is, so these two are in parallel only. So the voltage which is appeared across this T1 will be same as the capacitor voltage. That is, Vc is equal to Vt1. Okay, now as the capacitor discharges, now this capacitor discharges, okay, discharges through the load. That is, Vc and Vt1 changes from minus Vs to 0. Okay, at this point, minus Vs to, see here, this capacitor voltage, so it reduces to 0. Okay, it reaches 0 value, the capacitor voltage. So load voltage changes from 2 Vs to Vs. Okay, so this is the value. At this instant, the capacitor voltage reaches to 0 and the output voltage reaches to the Vs value. Okay, from 2 Vs to Vs it has been reduced. So after this point, this capacitor voltage and voltage across this thyristor 1. Okay, this is the voltage across the thyristor 1. How we are drawing this voltage across the capacitor 1? So whenever the thyristor is conducting, there is no voltage. Okay, that's why it is 0 till this point. Okay, here it is turned off, so it has the voltage, because we applied the reverse voltage. Okay, this minus Vs was applied across this thyristor. That's why here it gets the reverse voltage. Okay, so at this point the capacitor voltage is 0, the output voltage is Vs. Okay, and the voltage across the thyristor 1 is also 0. Here the load current, okay, the current through the thyristor 1 is 0 only here. Here the charging current becomes 0, I0, okay, in the negative direction. So at the end of this mode 3, here the output voltage reaches 0 value at T3. Okay, the charging current IC is minus I0. So at this point the charging current is minus I0, and the current through the thyristor, auxiliary thyristor, will be I0, because now the load current flows through this auxiliary thyristor. Okay, so the output current will be the current across the current through this auxiliary thyristor will be equal to the load current. Okay, so this is about the mode 3. Now we can see the mode 4. Okay, at T3. Okay, at T3 the capacitor voltage, capacitor voltage and the voltage across the thyristor 1 is equal to the source voltage. Okay, and V0 is equal to 0. So the capacitor voltage and voltage across the thyristor, okay, both will be equal, which is equal to Vs. That is Vc is equal to Vt1, which is equal to Vs. Okay, so at this condition V0 is equal to 0. V0 is equal to 0. So at T3 the capacitor is slightly overcharged. Okay, at this T3 the capacitor is overcharged, and so this freewheeling diode will be forward biased. Okay, so the load circuit formed by this freewheeling diode, auxiliary thyristor, this capacitor and Vs. Okay, so in this circuit this Vc is greater than Vs, because so this capacitor voltage will be greater than this Vc. Okay, this capacitor voltage will be greater than the supply voltage, because the capacitor is overcharged now. Charging current is getting reversed, so this TA, that is auxiliary thyristor, is turned off naturally at T3. So at this condition the at this time T3 this auxiliary thyristor will be turned off, and this freewheeling diode gets turned on. Okay, so as a result of which the current will freewheel through this circuit. Okay, so the current will be freewheeling like this from the freewheeling diode and load. So in between the current will be freewheeling. During this freewheeling period, the voltage across the thyristor, auxiliary thyristor, is slightly negative. Okay, since the capacitor is overcharged, this voltage across this auxiliary thyristor is somewhat negative. It is not shown here in this waveform. Okay, so the reverse voltage which is applied across this conducting SCR, due to which the current through the SCR becomes 0, it is getting turned off. Okay, so in this since the reverse voltage is used to turn off the thyristor, it is called as voltage commutation. Okay, this type of voltage commutation is also called as impulse commutation. So its another name is impulse commutation. It is because a high reverse voltage will turn off the SCR. Okay, so from this we understand that the capacitor voltage, that is the reverse voltage, is applied across the thyristor to turn it off. That's why it is called as voltage commutated chopper. Thank you.